What's something that as a non-American you will never understand? Tipping culture. This and not including tax on retail items, so if something is $20 on the price tag, it could be $21.50 when you get to the counter. Just makes no sense. Include it prior so that people can get the change out if they need it. Not such a big issue if you pay by card, but still. How long American commutes are. Some Americans really think it's normal to drive for a couple hours for work. Some Americans, note I say some, I'm not generalizing here, total lack of awareness about other parts of the world. The point G, I've seen things like Africa referred to as a country, people that don't know Paris is in France, etc. It just seems bizarre to me. Jumbo-sized drinks intended for one person to drink. In shops, the prices on the shelves are very different to the prices you pay at the till. There is actually a reason for this one that's fallen into obscurity. Before the telephone, unscrupulous store owners would jack the prices on goods and blame taxes. To combat this, a law was passed that tax had to be added on at the register to promote clarity in pricing. Why kids have a social pressure to leave their parents' homes at 18. Americans have always had a culture of rugged individualism. There's an expectation that an adult should be able to make it on their own. Also, American culture revolves around the nuclear family. When you become an adult, you strike out on your own. Get married, have kids, and that's your new family unit. You live apart from your parents and are financially and otherwise independent from them. Other cultures don't perceive the family unit this way. Adult children might bring their spouse to live with them in their family home. Money and possessions might be freely shared between parents/kids/aunts/uncles/cousins, etc. It's just a cultural difference. The sophomore, junior, senior thingy. Americans use it so many times describing their life. Those are descriptors of what year they are in HS and college. Most American schools are set up as elementary K through 5, start at 5 years old, and are typically 11 by the time you finish 5th grade. Middle school, grades 6 to 8, ages 11 to 14, and then HS, grades 9 to 12, ages 14 to 18, and then college. 9th grade and first year of college are both called freshmen. 10th grade and second year of college are both called sophomores. 11th grade and third year of college are both called juniors. 12th grade and 4th year and beyond in college are all called seniors. If you knew all that and just didn't know why we do that, I apologize, cause I have no answers. I don't know why we do it. Why the hospitality and service workers live on tips and not a living wage. I made $3.65 an hour as a waitress. Some nights I'd get $100 in tips Friday or Saturday night for 5 hours of work. That's pretty good. Comes out to around $20 an hour. But then if you have to work a Monday lunch or Tuesday lunch, it was so dead and so full of older people using coupons that it would be maybe $15 for 5 hours of work. That's when a lot of cleaning would be done. And then the church crowd was always the worst on Sundays. Very impatient. All came in at once. Ordered cheaper food than usual for a group of that size. Because it was lunchtime and often many kids' meals involved, they barely tipped anything. So we would be exhausted and barely make anything for the work. It's bad for a lot of reasons. First, it puts you in a bad position with the tipping customers. You'd make the largest tips off of single men, especially those who ordered a lot of drinks, tend to spend more and tip more, and you can imagine the situations that sets you up for. It also puts you in a bad position with management, because the shifts you work make a huge difference on the amount of money you get, so you put up with a lot of harassment to keep good paying shifts. And lastly, it leads to a lot of discrimination when it comes to the service a person gets when they come in. If you haven't tipped in the past or look like someone doesn't usually tip, race, age, etc., then you're going to get very poor service. How obsessed you guys are with politics and integrate it into everyday life. Oh, he does something I don't agree with. Must be a Democrat. I have an aunt there and all she does is ramble on and on Facebook about Democrat this, Republican that, liberal, conservative blah blah. I've seen it brought up many times on Reddit during arguments. Point, why is this so important? Politics in the US used to be a matter of opinion that was often kept secret from all but the closest friends. but it's shifted into a matter of identity and morality that has been incredibly polarizing. You want to let everyone know that you are either absolutely not one of those baby killing / terrorist hugging / business stifling Democrats, or one of those bigoted racist / woman hating / theocratic nutjob Republicans. What I will never be able to understand is this: how can it be completely normal for you people for Amazon to leave the package on your doorstep? People are quite neighborly in most places, especially in suburban and rural areas. In some places you can leave your door unlocked without worry. Package thieves do exist, but Amazon makes it easy to get a refund or a delivery of missing items. You can call up Amazon and be like, "Hey, I think someone stole my package. I can look around some more." But the little tracker thingy said wah, and they're like, "Another is on the way." Then you hang up the phone and say, "Man, that was too easy. What if I was just lying?" Amazon would lose money. And then from behind your Alexa says, "Fools, do you think the center brain cares about money? We have transcended money. The currency of the future is your data." And you say, "What?" And Alexa says paper towels added to shopping list. And you're like, okay. The absolute bullsh. That is the American healthcare system. The UK is nowhere near perfect, but at least we don't charge oddins foreskin for an ambulance. Why they always assume everyone view things from the eyes of an American. This is especially infuriating with regards to a COVID. They'll make claims like the CDC is lying. Okay, well, what about the governments of the other 190 plus countries? Even if the US could get some other countries in cahoots, you don't think that rival countries would want to call it out? Like if we got India on board, wouldn't Pakistan love the opportunity to show that it was all a con? But most Americans view the pandemic as a uniquely American thing and can't shake that loose. How big a deal high school sports is? Why are full-grown adults concerned about a kids playing American football? This heavily depends on where in the country you live. But part of it is for fun. It's enjoyable to watch a sports match. Part of it is money. Part of it is training. Hockey is big where I am, and high school hockey games can be events where scouts from the NHL go to scope out talent. As European, I will never understand why do you tolerate your healthcare system. It would be funny if it wasn't sad. The amount of money a diabetic drops on insulin in a year would last 2 lifetimes worth of supply in Europe. Yet there is always someone in comments from the US who will try to reason this. 2003 Healthcare Modernization Act made it illegal for the government to negotiate healthcare prices. Health insurance people saw their chance and started pulling 1.5 trillion a year off the government. Anytime someone tries to stand up, they just open the floodgates and squash them, which sort of sucks. We are paying enough to pay every medical professional in the US $100,000 a year, buy every hospital, and buy our leading pharmaceutical companies outright every year. The lust for war and the glorification of the military. I mean, I get it. I know what Eisenhower said about the military-industrial complex and how it was a threat to everything USA should stand for. But now that we've had decades of exactly what he warned about, why don't the American public react? Is the indoctrination and thought control really that strong? Do they actually believe their own propaganda when actual reality blatantly contradicts it at every turn?